Plested is supermorbidly obese. He's in a race against time to lose weight. His life depends on it.
Just realising you've got to lose 10 stone and you've got a year to do it. It's so hard. My whole thing with food is like an addiction. I can't leave it alone.
And Sue Staples, who has spent a lifetime yo-yo dieting. She's so ashamed of her failure to lose weight, she's now started eating in secret.
I know it's wrong to do it, to run away and hide myself, but if nobody can see me, and I feel I'm not putting the weight on, but I know up here you do, but psychologically you just eat it, it's comfort in a way. But I think I've always been like this. I don't know what's triggered it, but I just find sometimes I have to hide so no one can see what I'm doing. Yeah.
Expect graphic scenes of gastric bypass surgery on Fat Doctor. Britain is now the fattest nation in Europe. A quarter of the adult population in the UK are dangerously overweight. We eat too much, and we exercise too little. Millions of Britons struggle daily with diets, but for many, however hard they try, they simply can't get rid of the fat.
I now weigh 37.5 stone. I've put on 10 stone in 10 years, and I feel like my insides are being crushed. Everything I do takes so much effort. I'm just tired of being this person. I want to unzip this and step out.
I've got this big restriction on what I can and can't do. And also, underlying, I know that slowly I am killing myself. I've put on sort of around about 15 stone in the last 5 years. So, yeah, obviously it's a concern that if that particular trend was to continue, then we're sort of reaching disaster point.
In desperation, many of Britain's biggest are turning to this man. Bariatric surgeon Shaw Summers carries out potentially high-risk but life-saving surgery to help the morbidly obese lose weight by reducing their stomachs to the size of an egg.
So there's her tiny little stomach pouch.
Every day, he sets out to change and even save people's lives.
Most patients who arrive at the clinic have been through serial dieting. They've lost weight, gained it again, lost weight and gained it again. And they're what I would describe as burned out yo-yo dieters. They just can't face doing it because they know they're going to fail. When patients undergo bariatric surgery, it is like hitting the reset button. They just don't cycle through the yo-yoing anymore, and at last they gain control. And most patients feel utterly relieved when that happens because they know they've broken out of that cycle of despair. It is quite humbling at times when people describe to you the difference that the surgery has made to their lives and the fact that they are leading an existence they never would have dreamed possible.
And the results of surgery are often staggering. These are some of Shaw's former patients at their annual reunion.
I've lost 14 stone in 13 months now, and I feel absolutely fantastic. At my heaviest, I was 38 stone. I'm 24 now, so another 6 stone and I'll be back playing rugby.
At my heaviest, I was 40 stone. I'm now 17.1. I've lost 23 stone in 23 months. I've got my life back.
It's results like these that Rob Plested and Sue Staples are desperate to achieve. Sue simply longs to lead a normal life, but for Rob, he needs to lose weight in order to save his life. Rob Plested is 54 years old and weighs 28 stone. At 6 foot tall, Rob is supermorbidly obese. An adult is considered obese with a body mass index of over 30. Rob's BMI is almost double this at 55. Rob lives in Fareham near Portsmouth with wife Chris. He has been overweight for most of his life, but as the years go on, his obesity is becoming more and more disabling.
What I hate most about being big is not being able to do anything myself. I feel like an invalid. Chris has to do so much for me, help me wash, help me get in and out of the bath. I feel so sorry for her, she has to do so much. I have to have a special seat in the bath, because if I have to sit on the bottom of the bath, I can't get back up. I mean, it's just impossible, really. I really do hate it.
I don't mind helping him to wash. It's sort of like, I've been a mum, I've had children, and it's just a sort of like, you know, he needs help, so he'd do the same for me. So...
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I wish I could do it for you. Round about the hill. If I could cut this fat off with a chainsaw, I would. That wouldn't so I'd bleed to death, but at least I'd get rid of it. I mean, it's the quick solution. We just wish it wasn't there, don't we? I just want to get back to a normal life.
I'm going to get you a towel.
For Rob, losing weight has become a matter of life or death. 6 months ago, he was rushed to hospital with chest pains. Tests revealed he urgently needed a new heart valve, and he was taken to theatre for surgery. But Rob was so big, surgeons refused to operate.
The surgeon came and said, I've got some bad news. You're too heavy. You won't make it. You know, if you don't die on the anaesthetic, you'll surely die afterwards. He said, your organs won't take the shock of the operation. Chris, my wife, looked at me and I looked at her, and we were both really shocked. The world's fell apart.
Rob needs to lose 10 stone before heart surgeons can safely operate. And he's only been given a year to live without this surgery.
Just realising you've got to lose 10 stone and you've got a year to do it. It's so hard. My whole thing with food is like an addiction. I can't leave it alone. So the best thing to do for me at the moment is not to eat.
In desperation to lose weight fast, Rob has recently started a milk diet. This allows him 4 pints of milk a day, but no food.
If I actually eat food, I want more. So I can't stop. If I have a salad, I've got to have more than just a salad. So with milk, because I'm not eating, I can find that I can, you know, lose weight, because if I don't eat, I don't want anything else. So I find the milk really handy. I've been on it, it's really boring because you want to crunch something. Sometimes I have to eat a cracker or something, a dry one, just so I've got something to crunch. But it's the only thing I lose weight on. I've lost, well, that's about 4 stone now. So it's about 1 stone a month since I've been on it, so it's been really good. So cheers.
Rob's ill health, brought on by his heart condition and exacerbated by his weight, is making it increasingly difficult for him to continue with his favourite sports. Without his scooter, he'd have to give them up completely.
Since my heart's been playing up, I just can't walk anymore. Yeah, my dream is to lose this weight, get rid of this scooter, get my heart done and be able to walk around like a normal person.
Got a Shondell Looper, you call it. Up there.
Friend Des Sturgis has seen a decline in Rob's health over the past few years.
Yeah, I've known Rod now about approximately 5 or 6 years. Really good guy. His help permission was always there. He was always one of the first to arrive, one of the last to go. And a keen enthusiast on his shooting. So any chance, any opportunity, he's always out firing the gun whenever he can. Probably the last couple of years, he's sort of steadied up a bit. He's been struggling a bit more, walking around and getting around the shoots. We've certainly slowed him up. He's obviously got his buggy now and stuff getting around on, which has helped him quite a bit. But none of it seems to have stopped him shooting. He's keen wherever possible. He's there and he's had every one of our shoots. Right, got it, Rob. Some nice easy ones. In you go. Good. Right hand coach.
I can still miss them. I think if you give up, then you're just ready to die, and I'm not ready to die. I'm not going to give up. I love my shooting, I love my fishing, and I'm going to do both until I drop.
Rob's been told by his doctors not to exert himself, and he's out today against medical advice. But if he stays at home, he finds it hard to stick to his diet and turns to food for comfort.
When I'm fishing and shooting, I don't think about food because my mind's occupied. But when I'm set at home, I'm really, really struggling.
Although Rob's managed to lose 4 stone, he's still got another 6 stone to lose before surgeons will operate on his heart. But he's finding it an increasing struggle to lose more weight.
I'm really scared that the weight won't come off and I won't be able to have my heart on. I just hope and pray that I've got the willpower to lose this weight. I've just got to the stage where I'm fed up of drinking milk and eating salads. I keep cheating because I keep thinking, oh, I'll start the diet again tomorrow, I'll start tomorrow. But then tomorrow comes and I think I'll start the next day. I mean, I need medical help now. Even if they just stitch my mouth up, they've got to do something to help me.
Of the 10,000 people in the UK who will undergo weight loss surgery this year, only 20% will be men. Every day in Britain, 3/4 of all women are either on a diet or breaking or starting a diet. Many spend most of their lives on a cycle of binging, dieting and worrying about their weight. 48-year-old Sue Staples is one of them. She has been a yo-yo dieter for most of her adult life. At only 4'10" but weighing 15 stone 9, she is currently the heaviest she's ever been.
This is like a vicious circle. You know, you slim down, you put the weight back on. I think we all cheat at diets. We all say we stick to them, but no, I personally do. The first couple of weeks, it's a novelty, it's all new, and you do stick to it. Then you lose a couple of pounds, oh yes. When you go and get weighed, when you stop losing 3 pounds, and it goes down to 2, then 1, then stay the same, then you think, what's the point? Oh, in my element. Oh, yes, I'll have some of these. You've given up all your luxuries, and if you stay the same, you cheat. Then you cheat, then you put the weight back on, then you feel depressed, then when your clothes don't fit you, and you think, you know, why have you done this? Nobody knows you've been binging on the chocolate, apart from me, and obviously the shop people.
Sue works part-time as a cleaner and can't understand why this daily activity doesn't help her burn off the calories.
I get into a sweat, and by rights I should lose a few pounds each week by doing all this exercise, hoovering, cleaning windows, getting cobwebs down. So I get paid for it in one hand and should lose a couple of pounds in the other, but unfortunately with me it doesn't work like that. So yes, sometimes it can be quite exhausting when you get home. If you've done like a spring clean, moving out the bed and the furniture. Good exercise, saves going to the gym.
Sue lives in the village of Barnham near Chichester. At home are her 4 sons and husband Mark.
What do you want to eat, boys?
Chicken pie, please.
Chicken pie, 1 or 2? 2, yeah.
That's some chicken jollop, please.
Promise?
Yeah.
Okay, sketty? All 3, sketty.
Yeah.
Okay then, rightio.
Sue will be eating her dinner later with husband Mark. But it's the snacking between meals that's the problem for her. This is often done in secret, behind her family's back.
Chocolate makes me happy. Just got to have at least a couple of bars a day, otherwise I feel a bit, not depressed, but a bit low. It just gives me that buzz. But, yeah, it's very nice. I know it's wrong to do it, to run away and hide myself. I know I'm putting the weight on, but if nobody can see me, and I feel I'm not putting the weight on, but I know up here you do, but psychologically you just eat it. It's comfort in a way. But I think I've always been like this. I don't know what's triggered it, but I just find sometimes I have to hide so no one can see what I'm doing. Yeah.
Everybody has their own sort of addiction. Yes, hers is definitely chocolate. She has a tendency to try to hide the fact that she's eating chocolate from me, but, you know, that's the way it goes.
Sue believes her insecurity about her weight became worse after the breakdown of her first marriage.
In my first relationship, my husband left me for someone smaller than me. So it doesn't help having that in the back of your head, that my husband left me with 4 boys and gone off with someone smaller. So you feel very hurt, and you think, oh God, he left me because I was fat. But even now we speak, he said, no, I didn't, but I personally believe that's why. Because I've been big, and having 4 children, you do put on weight. You lose a little bit, but more on, and obviously maybe he found the smaller person a better substitute.
Sue married second husband Mark 10 years ago. Tonight they're heading off for their weekly bingo session. It's the only place Sue will go to socially, as she's so embarrassed by her weight.
Just sit behind the chair, no one can see how big you are. But, yeah, it's just a chance to get out, isn't it?
It is at the moment. When we used to go out a while back, we used to go out clubbing, but obviously she thinks she's too big for clubbing.
Right, bigger I would.
77.
When your friends ask you to go out, say clubbing or to the pub, and you look at your clothes and you think, the only clothes I own are frumpy clothes, nothing fashionable, nothing nice. You know, it's just, and you say, oh no, thank you, I'd rather stay in. And they say, well, don't worry what you look like. You know, you're fine where you are, but if you don't feel comfortable in what you're wearing, you just don't have a good night. So that's why I just stick to my bingo.
Back in Fareham, Rob Plested is still on his milk diet, but he hasn't lost any more weight in the past 3 weeks. Rob still needs to lose a further 6 stone before it's safe for him to undergo life-saving heart surgery. Without this operation, he's been given only a year to live. Today, Rob's come to see bariatric surgeon Shaw Summers at his obesity clinic.
Morning.
Morning, Mr. Plested. Shaw
Morning.
Summers, how do you do?
Morning.
He's praying Shaw can help him lose his final 6 stone.
I've had a number of letters from the various doctors that have been looking after you.
Yeah.
Because you seem to be in a bit of a predicament. I gather you've done really well by yourself. You've put yourself on a milk diet.
Yeah.
And you've managed to lose 4 stone, but you just can't get any further than that by
No,
yourself.
I'm really struggling now, and I really need help.
Okay.
I've tried and tried, but it won't come off. My biggest problem is that I comfort eat. If things go wrong, and then I binge on food.
I think that undergoing a full operation to help you lose weight is not an option at this stage.
Yeah.
The reason for that is that your heart is under such strain that it's unlikely you will come through a standard anaesthetic for tummy surgery.
Yeah.
Robert's particular situation is complicated by the fact that he's got a severe heart condition, one that requires surgery in order to allow his heart to function properly. The problem we have is that we can't do our operation until his heart is fixed, and the cardiac surgeons can't fix his heart until his weight comes down. If we can't do a proper operation with a full anaesthetic, I think we have other options that we could try. I think the one that comes to mind is a device called a balloon. It literally is a balloon about the size of a grapefruit that is filled with water and put in the stomach. Now that makes your stomach feel heavy, and it makes your stomach feel full, can make you feel somewhat sickly and put you off food.
Oh, great.
Now if we can do that and you have your heart surgery, we might then be in a position to consider doing something definitive, something permanent to help you with your appetite. Something like a bypass operation.
Well, that's what I would really love to have. I don't want to be big anymore.
Okay, well, I'm here to make that happen if we can.
Great, thanks very much.
Rob will be having his gastric balloon fitted in 2 weeks' time.
I believed for the last few months that my heart deteriorating the way it feels, that I'm not going to make it. So I hope I do now.
Coming up, Sue Staples gets the go-ahead for weight loss surgery, but her family are scared of the risks and don't want her to go through with it.
They can't understand how being fat makes you not a confident person because they're all skinny. Not until you've been in my shoes would you understand what it's like to be a fat person.
And will this gastric balloon be the answer to Rob's weight problems and help save his life? At 28 stone, Rob Plested is supermorbidly obese. He needs a new heart valve, but cardiac surgeons can't operate because at his current weight, he's unlikely to survive the anaesthetic. He needs to lose 6 stone before they will go ahead with the operation. And without this heart surgery, Rob's been given only a year to live. He's here today at St. Richard's Hospital to have a gastric balloon fitted in the hope it can help him lose weight.
Good afternoon, Robert. Good afternoon.
Bariatric surgeon Shaw Summers wants to run through the procedure with him one last time.
What we propose to do today is to put a balloon in your stomach, about the size of a grapefruit, and that will stay there for 6 months. It'll put you off food, and that's the one thing we want it to do. And I think you've got every reason to really want this to work, because I think without it, there really aren't a lot of other options.
No. No, as far as I'm concerned, it's a chance to get to the right weight.
Because I think it signals that you understand what's at stake here, and that unless you can get this heart sorted, then I'm afraid the chips are down.
Yeah.
Right, afternoon, Robert.
Dr. Hamish Duncan is part of Shaw's obesity team, and he'll be fitting Rob's gastric balloon. Before starting the procedure, he sprays Rob's throat with local anaesthetic.
Robert's a very high-risk patient. He's at risk of suddenly dying on the streets, let alone without this procedure. This is the balloon you've got to swallow, Robert.
Rob has to swallow the deflated balloon. As the balloon is passed down his throat, he struggles to swallow it.
You're making a swallowing movement for me, please.
Once Rob has swallowed the balloon, Dr. Duncan uses a camera to check it's in the right position before he inflates it with a blue saline solution. This will now create a feeling of fullness in Robert's stomach.
So that's the balloon in position now. So fully inflated. And then what we're going to do is pull this tubing. Brilliant. Well done.
After just 10 minutes, the procedure is completed.
Right, well done, Robert. Thanks for not retching and vomiting all over me. Right, well done. Good luck. I'm hoping that if Robert is well motivated, that he should be able to achieve about a 5 to 6 stone weight loss in the next 3 to 4 months.
The gastric balloon can only safely stay in Rob's stomach for 6 months. Any longer than this, and he'll be at risk of developing stomach ulcers. So Rob has limited time in which to lose 6 stone. His life depends on it. A few miles away in Barnum, Sue Staples is a woman on a mission. She's just been given the go-ahead for gastric bypass surgery. Sue's been a yo-yo dieter for most of her life. At 4 foot 10 inches tall and weighing 15 stone 9, she's morbidly obese.
Yeah, you can feel it in your waist.
Sue's determined to start getting fit for the operation, which will help curb her appetite by making her stomach smaller and her intestines shorter. She has no doubt this NHS surgery will save her life.
If I carry on the way I am, binging and doing naughty things with my diet, I will end up about 20 stone, easy. And obviously, when my children have grandchildren, I won't be able to play with them, and I honestly think something bad, being obese, you're more prone to heart attacks. And in a way, to me, it is cheating. But if it's the only way it's going to save my life, I'd rather have this done than win the lottery. Boys, tea ready!
But Sue's decision to go under the knife to lose weight hasn't gone down well with the rest of the family, especially her sons.
I just don't personally think that bypass is the route that she should be taking. I quite like my food as well. I just like to constantly eat. It's just getting that balance right, eating the right type of food. And if you can get that and constantly do that, that will help her. But certain diets obviously haven't worked in the past, but who's to say there isn't a diet out there that will help her? I mean, it's just the whole idea of cutting you open to help you out. I just don't believe an operation is the right path for her.
Husband Mark also has his reservations.
I'm a bit wary of the operation itself. There's always that, obviously, that 1% chance that it could go wrong. If she wants it done, I'm 100% behind her, but personally I'd rather she didn't. I prefer her the way she is. I wouldn't have married her otherwise.
Obviously, all husbands would say that. You know, he said, whether you're fat, thin, I will always love you. And if you don't feel comfortable with you, I'll support you all the way. But, yes, it's the same as the children. They say whatever I decide, if I'm not... They can't understand how being fat makes you not a confident person because they're all skinny. Not until you've been in my shoes would you understand what it's like to be a fat person.
In Fareham, it's been a week since Rob had his gastric balloon fitted, and already he's noticing the difference.
You ain't got that starving feeling anymore, you know. I feel, even when I'm hungry, I only feel peckish, you know. So, yeah, it's really good. I mean, it surprised me. I mean, I got the help I needed without having to sew my mouth up. I know I've lost weight. I mean, I can tell by the way my clothes are look baggier. My trousers keep falling down. I mean, I just can't wait really to weigh in. I'm getting quite excited about it. I'm really looking forward to that.
Today, Rob has an appointment to see the clinic's dietitian, Denise Thomas.
An eventful week.
Denise will assess how well he's adapting to the balloon, and more importantly, if he's lost any weight.
Should we do the dirty deed?
Yeah.
Get out the way. Careful now.
Yes.
Wow! Oh, amazing. 170. Well done, Robert.
Rob has lost almost 1.5 stone in a week. It's an astounding result.
Well, I've really been trying because it could save my life.
Yeah.
I mean, my little pet balloon in my stomach. And I just really want to lose this weight. I've got to stay alive.
The balloon is going to be so much more beneficial for you, we hope, because it'll help your adherence. It's because you've had the demon of hunger and it's been there gnawing at you, wanting you to eat. And it's difficult then to keep that weight loss going. So the fact that the balloon is there now, that'll take the edge off things, we hope, for you. And just get this weight to come nicely down.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
At St Richard's Hospital in Chichester, it's the day of Sue Staples' gastric bypass operation, which she hopes will help her lose at least 6 stone.
I feel very nervous. My legs are like jelly, but apart from that, I'm just excited. Ready to go down. New beginnings, yes.
Sue may be excited, but husband Mark still has reservations about her having the operation.
When she first said she was going to do it, I wasn't too sure, obviously, because you do have complications in any surgery. Myself and the rest of the family will be supportive for her. It's her decision. And let's just hope it all goes all right.
Bariatric surgeon Shaw Summers is here to run through the procedure one last time.
Nice to see you again. Today's your day.
It is.
Are you excited?
Yes.
Okay. We're all ready for you in theatre, so what I wanted to do before we take you down is just to go through exactly what we're aiming to do with the operation so that you're clear in your mind what's going on. I can see you've got your little helper in your pocket there.
Yes.
Right. We're planning to do keyhole surgery to change the shape of your stomach so that it's much smaller, about the size of an egg. So it makes you feel full more quickly, and it means that you won't feel so hungry.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Now, like all operations, there are some risks. The risks that we will have a hitch with surgery is in the region of about 1 in 50. Those hitches are things like bleeding, infection, internal injury, that's me poking something I shouldn't poke and then I have to fix it.
Right.
Or leakage from one of the joints.
Right.
Now, my job is to firstly keep you safe and to do whatever I have to do to make sure that any problems are sorted out. And you can rest assured you're in a unit that does this regularly and that it's what we do.
Wonderful. Fantastic.
Okay. If I can give you the pen.
Right.
Okay, happy with that?
Lovely, jubbly.
We will see you in a few minutes, but you won't see me because you'll be asleep.
That's good.
All
Okay,
right.
thank you very much.
I'll see
Thank
you in
you.
a bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Shaw Summers is planning to perform keyhole surgery on Sue. This is less intrusive than the method of open surgery and will enable her to recover quicker from the operation.
Susan's weight is mainly distributed around the outside of her tummy and the outside of her body, so it's what we call subcutaneous fat. So she looks big because she's got fat around her arms, legs, bum and her tummy. Whereas men who are fat tend to have internal fat. It's around the internal organs, which is why men tend to have pot bellies. That's actually much more dangerous, much harder to operate on. So we tend to offer keyhole surgery usually to ladies and to certain men.
They've seen better.
It is often difficult to anaesthetise large patients, as their covering of fat can make it problematic finding a vein. With a vein located, Dr. Mike Margerson can put Sue to sleep.
Way out. Another success. She was very anxious. She went off to sleep with a high heart rate and she's still got a high heart rate, so I'm just making sure she's nice and deep. She hid it very well, but she was on the brink of tears just as she came in, clutching her handkerchief. It's a big thing, clearly. It's a huge life event, so it's not uncommon to get people very twitched.
Okay for me to go, Mike? Thank you very much.
Shaw will make 6 small incisions in Sue's abdomen in order to create his operating ports.
What you can see there is fat of the tummy wall, and I'm just pushing my way through that fat now. Then there's going to be a white line coming up, and then red, which is the muscle, and another white line, which is the back of the muscle, a bit more red, another white line, and then yellow, and that's the fat inside the tummy.
Carbon dioxide gas is blown into Sue's stomach to help lift the tummy wall away from her internal organs. This will give Shaw the space he needs to operate.
Here we go. We've got these lovely grasping instruments that open and close, and they're very soft, so they don't actually hurt the tissues. And it allows me to just grip the tissues inside and move things around.
The omentum is the fatty layer that protects the small intestine. Shaw cuts a window through the omentum in order to set to work on the gastric bypass. Before he staples Sue's stomach, Shaw has to bypass about 1 metre of her small intestine. This will reduce Sue's appetite and the amount of calories her body can absorb.
The gastric bypass isn't a one-size-fits-all operation. We have to change the length of the bypass depending on how heavy a person is, and also as to whether they have diabetes or not. Most people having about 4 to 6 metres of small intestine, you can see that we're bypassing between 1/3 and 1/2, sometimes almost more than that. It is sometimes like wrestling with a string of sausages. It all has to be done nice and gently because the small intestine does not like to be manhandled too roughly. A lot of the time I have to operate by reaching backwards, so it's a bit like tying your shoelaces up in the mirror. You've got to think about exactly what position your hands are in, what's where. all about 3D awareness. Fortunately, it's made me really good at video games, which my teenage sons think is unfair. Much better than a game. Because at the end of it, you don't just win points, you win a happy patient, which is much nicer.
With the bypass of the small intestine completed, Shaw now has to make Sue's stomach smaller. But first, he needs to move the liver out of the way.
Now, to get the liver out of the way, I need to use a liver retractor, and for Susan, I think this sort of liver retractor would work well, so I put it in and use it to hold the liver out of the way. Just to give you some illustration that a lot of patients, certainly the men, would use that size of liver retractor, and that is a medium one. There is, however, another size up called the large, and we have had occasion to use that. There are some people whose livers and tummies are so big that they need that kind of retractor. There we go. Fiddly, but we get there. Just going to need to push the curve in there. Hook it underneath the liver. Susan's actually got a fairly big liver for a little girl. Okay, and that gives us a lovely view of the stomach. I've now got to decide how big Susan's stomach pouch is going to be. At the moment, her stomach's about the size of a small melon, and when I've finished stapling and cutting the stomach, it'll be about the size of a large egg. So there's her tiny little stomach pouch. Now, the ends of these graspers, that bit from there to there, is about 3 centimetres, just over 1.5 inches. So this is a tiny little stomach pouch.
Finally, Shaw joins the new stomach pouch to the bypassed small intestine, and the operation is complete.
Susan can now look forward to a chance of thinness.
In Fareham, it's been 4 months since Rob Plested had a gastric balloon fitted to help him lose 6 stone so that he can have life-saving heart surgery. But things aren't going as well as he and wife Chris had hoped. After a great start where he lost 1.5 stone in a week, Rob's now finding it hard to diet and doesn't believe the balloon is restricting his food intake.
Any food I have is like a drug. Once I've had some, I want more and more. It's just like an alcoholic. You give him a drink, he'll want more. Well, it's the same with me with food. I'm just addicted to food.
Robert presents a real problem in that I think he's medically deteriorating and his weight remains at a level that's dangerously overloading the function of his heart. And he's clearly just getting worn down by the whole process of trying hard to lose weight. And he's absolutely classically caught with a food addiction. He knows he's got to stop eating to lose weight so that he can live. But it's when he's not well, when the world's turning against him, he feels terrible, that's when it's, you know, it overtakes him, this insane desire to munch on something. And it's the thing that, as a bariatric specialist, I battle against, getting people to defeat this demon.
Rob's failure to lose weight is becoming increasingly worrying. It's exactly a year since he was told that without a new heart valve, he had only a year to live. But he still has another 4.5 stone to lose before surgeons can safely perform this critical operation.
You think to yourself, oh, I could die if I eat that. But that don't stop you, because that urge for something seems to be stronger than the worry of actually dying. You think, oh, if I eat that, I could die. But the brain is saying, well, you go on the diet tomorrow, you'll be okay. And if anybody who is as big as me would tell you that you always think, tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes.
The gastric balloon can only stay in Rob's stomach for 6 months, leaving him only 2 months in which to lose his weight. And he has to succeed. His life depends on it. Sue Staples had spent most of her life trying and failing at diets. 6 months ago, despite the concerns of her family, she underwent gastric bypass surgery in a desperate bid to shed the pounds. And the results speak for themselves.
Well, it'll be 6 months today that I had my operation and I've lost 5 stone. That is a third of my weight and I feel absolutely fantastic. Well, I've gone down from a size 28 on the top to a size 16 on top and bottom. So that's over, what, five dress sizes. The weight loss is giving me such a boost in my confidence. I'll go to the hairdressers, I even start to wear makeup. I have even bought some short skirts above my knee, which I have never done in my life. But yeah, losing the weight, I just feel so much younger. It's just given me such a boost.
In an effort to maintain her trimmer figure, Sue now goes to the gym 3 times a week.
The energy I've got now is unbelievable. You know, you feel like an 18-year-old. You're running around, you can go on the treadmill. The energy, you just don't know where it's come from. You know, things you can do, it's just so amazing. It really is. You're on the go all day and you don't feel worn out. What I'm most concentrating on was obviously my stomach. I have excess skin in my stomach, which I like to have surgery maybe in about 9 months' time, because it's, you know, it's a bit embarrassing. But once, if I can tone it up or have some sort of operation, well, I'm going to be the perfect figure. The old Sue would not entertain coming here because I would have felt so self-conscious. It's just new me. It really is a new me. It's just fantastic.
Losing weight has also improved Sue's relationship with husband Mark. Today, they're off for their weekly pub lunch, something Sue would never have done in the past.
She prefers to go out in public now because obviously she thinks she's a lot better looking, slimmer. It does make me feel a lot happier that she feels a bit more confident in herself. And yeah, it's nice to go out more together rather than just doing bingo once a week. She wants me to obviously build my weight up as she's losing it so she can pass me and then feel even better about herself.
The operation has completely transformed Sue's relationship with food and helped cure her addiction to chocolate.
The new diet I have with the fruit and the vegetables, it's just unbelievable why I didn't do it, even say 20 years ago. But it has opened my eyes, having this operation has opened my eyes to a different lifestyle, absolutely different lifestyle. Eating sensibly and healthily I just can't believe that I honestly don't miss chocolate.
Mark wasn't initially keen on Sue having the operation, and despite the results, he still has reservations.
I'm not sure if I prefer slimmer or prefer the way she was. Personally, for myself, I do prefer a woman that's got a bit more curves on her, the larger lady. As far as the operation's gone, I'm very glad about Sue's confidence, her appearance. If she feels happy in herself, that's fine by me.
And as far as Sue's concerned, she couldn't be happier.
To Mr. Summers, if I won the lottery, I'd give it all to you because this is the best thing ever in my life. You have changed me, made me feel 20 years younger. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you very much.
"26-stone Rob Plestid's at St Richard's Hospital today to have his gastric balloon removed. He's only managed to lose 2 stone in the past 6 months. Not enough weight for surgeons to perform his critical heart operation. Rob and wife Chrissy are growing increasingly desperate.
Rob is really, really struggling, and our whole lives now seem to surround food, the lack of it. Very depressing.
Very depressing. Sometimes I even feel like just giving up and saying, oh, well, what will be, will be. If you think what I used to eat in a day, I'll probably eat in a week now, if you put it all together. But, you know, I don't lose weight. If you see what I have to, you know, I live on, you wouldn't believe why I'm so fat. I don't understand why I'm so bloody fat. All right, see you later.
Bye, good luck.
Yeah, see you later.
Right, afternoon, Robert.
Hi, how are you? Better.
Dr. Hamish Duncan will be removing Rob's balloon. His throat is sprayed with local anaesthetic to make it numb. He then has to swallow the camera so Dr. Duncan can locate the balloon.
Okay, big swallow for me now. Camera's down. Just concentrate on your breathing. And that's the balloon in position there.
A needle is passed through the gastroscope in order to puncture the balloon so the fluid can be drained out.
Really well, Robert. Just concentrate on your breathing.
Using grasping forceps, Dr. Duncan then grabs the balloon and pulls it out through Rob's mouth. With the balloon removed, Rob now faces an even harder struggle to lose his remaining 4 stone.
The purpose of the balloon was to help him lose weight, to make it safer for him to undergo the surgical operations that he needs. So he had very strong motivating factors to lose weight, and yes, I'm disappointed that he's only lost 2 stone in weight, because he should have done better.
6 months on, and things are not going well. Not only is Rob's health deteriorating, he's also put on a stone.
Mr. Plestid, please.
He's here today at Shaw Summers Obesity Clinic to see if there's anything else Shaw can do to help him.
Has the heart specialist seen you lately?
No, I haven't seen her now for about 2 or 3 months.
What did they say?
Basically, come back and see you when you lost the weight. So.
We're really stuck, Rob. I really don't know where we go from here, because we've tried the simplest of ways to help with your appetite, but clearly that hasn't done the trick. And unless we can figure out some way of getting you not to eat, you're not likely to get through this.
No, I know that.
You know that unless you get this heart operation, your clock's ticking, absolutely, and that you can't have your heart operation until you lose the weight. You know all of that, and you're a clever enough bloke to figure all that out. But the problem is, when the chips are down, excuse the expression chips, but when the chips are down, the thing you turn to is food, and it is a full-blown addiction.
And the thing is, I could not eat for 7 days, and I lose weight.
Yeah.
And then one day I have a bad day, I can't get out of bed because my arthritis is really hurt me or something like that. And then I'll probably eat more that day, and I did over the last 7 days, and the weight I've lost just all goes back on.
That is absolutely classic dieting, and that is the bit that most people don't understand, the fact that you can be a good boy for a week or so, but you just have one bad day and that'll undo all the work you've done the last week. And that is the reality of life as an overweight person. There's one way of doing it. We could imprison you in hospital and not let you anywhere near food.
That'd be good.
I will go back and talk to my colleagues. The problem is bringing you in for solitary confinement, so to speak, is a difficult one for the NHS to understand in terms of a treatment. So I have now got to go and sell this to my hospital managers that for you this is as much a life-saving treatment as for someone having antibiotics for an infection or something like that. And I think unless we can offer you that, I really can't see any way forward. And unfortunately, the NHS does work slow these days when it comes to this kind of thing, but I will do my best to get you sorted.
Thank you.
All right. If Robert doesn't get his heart surgery within the next year, he's going to die. It's as stark as that. He's in a race against time, against his cardiac condition, and it's a race that he's really not winning at the moment. But we'll never give up. We'll try our best for him, and if we can get him in and can get him to lose enough weight, there is still hope. But it's not a great one if Robert really can't do the work himself.
With Rob battling for his life, Chris has decided to take early retirement so she can help him in his fight against food.
Maybe the fact that I'm with him will give him the strength, because you do need a willpower of iron to do this. So hopefully I will make the difference.
Just going on too long now, isn't it?
Yes.
Now we've got to turn all this scariness into positives. And we've got to say, right, this is it. Now we're really going to push it. And we've got to see in 4 months' time if I can have the heart op and then have the gastric bypass and start a new life. And I will really try. I mean, in 4 months' time, if I ain't there, then I'll probably be on death's door anyway, so. But I'm determined this time I'll stick to it.